Formula 1 arrives back at China after its break from this circuit, and teams are excited to get back to Shanghai and crack on with some racing. First of all then, it has been told that Ferrari are refusing to speak to the media or anybody in the paddock about their previous hearing that they had. As we know, Ferrari were told that they were summoned to a hearing by the FIA after all of the chaos regarding the transfer between Tom and Ricciardo, and why people were just getting up with so many conspiracy theories and so many things just wasn't adding up. The FIA called an emergency hearing between team personnel at Ferrari. Verstappen, Ricciardo, Vettel and Tom all made it there. Sebastian Vettel and Tom have told the media that they are not to discuss anything until Ferrari make any form of announcement on what actually happened in the first place. Stoffel Vandoorne has been told that he has lost his seat at McLaren for next year. McLaren have stated that they are no longer requiring Stoffel Vandoorne's services for the next season. However, McLaren say that it is not over for Stoffel Vandoorne. There are many teams that are now considering getting the signature of Stoffel Vandoorne, and it's just about where he feels like going. McLaren say that no matter what, they will support Stoffel Vandoorne and get him and make sure to secure him a seat in Formula 1 next year, as they do believe he does deserve one. However, they just don't feel like he's right for their team. Any takeover won't happen until the winter at Force India. As we knew from the previous round of the Formula 1 season, Force India have officially announced that they are putting their team up for sale for any manufacturer or anybody in any independent team to come on in and take over the team. However, Force India have stated that they are going to be solely focusing on the end of this season, and they have blocked anybody from making any form of a bid for the team until the winter. This is a little bit of a disadvantage though, because any team that is looking to try and buy out Force India may not actually get what they want. So they could try and develop a car, but they'll only have the winter to do so. So it's going to be nip and tuck to see who can get it. Finally, Robert Kubica has decided to retire at the end of the season, and however, he will become a team personnel at Renault. Robert Kubica obviously is driving for the Renault this season, but the Renault is probably the slowest car on the grid, and it's not been going well, and he has decided to hang up his gloves and his boots and his helmet. However, he will still become team personnel at Renault, so he'll still be involved in Formula 1, but it will just be in a different role out of the cockpit, and he will give that to somebody else. Moving on then into the practice pointers for the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's quite clear to see that Ferrari have got a big pace advantage at China, and that Mercedes are definitely struggling. Lewis Hamilton seems to be complaining of the front end just not working well for his car. Tom also complaining of that, but overall, Mercedes just don't quite have a good balance here at Shanghai, whereas Ferrari have got a much more superior car. Red Bull is showing some impressive tyre wear performances at China, and this could pay into their hands. They're not quite as fast as Ferrari, but they're very close to the back of Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes probably just about has the edge, but with this tyre wear advantage, Red Bull might be able to do something on strategy to help them pursue Mercedes-Benz here at Shanghai. Finally, Jaguar are looking strong in both qualifying and race simulation trims. They're looking very strong here for the Chinese Grand Prix and are now having high expectations for the race and are looking to score points with both cars, but obviously everything can happen in Formula 1. So let's get into qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. Yo, what's going on guys, it is Foxy298 here and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today we are back with the round 11 of the F1 journey here for the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's going to be hopefully a very fun and entertaining event, and we can try and keep up our good run of form going. Of course, if you are unaware, at the moment we are currently on 4 race wins in a row at the moment, and we're going to try and make that 5. We've been on an incredible streak with this team and Mercedes after understanding the car, having a few lucky races, having 1 or 2 dominant races as well here and there, but we're here for qualifying. And as you can see, my first lap was, well, it was rubbish. It was just getting used to the track because obviously this Chinese Grand Prix circuit, I barely raced around this track without corner line before. Did I go into a practice session and practice with the car around China? No, I just go straight into qualifying. So yeah, that's how I do things around here. So obviously P15, that was pretty much my banker lap, pretty much just seeing how you actually drive the circuit. Pretty much, and now you can see here that we're going on for it and we're going to try and set the best lap possible. But overall, as you would have seen in the practice pointers, we were definitely struggling around here. I was losing a lot of time. Obviously the chassis and the aero department of this car is nowhere near as strong as the Ferrari. Obviously the Ferrari is the fastest car on the grid. Obviously, they're not leading the World Championship. They're leading the Constructors' Championship. They're not quite leading the Drivers' Championship. That's something I'm getting. As you can see there, just going through the banking corner. You can see the back end just stepping out a little bit. A small snap of oversteer as the rear end just tries to step away from me there. Having to control that, losing probably quite a lot of time, actually. And we opened the DRS there a little bit later than anticipated. So we're probably losing a little bit of time here overall in this last lap. So we break it nice and late into the hairpin, nice and calm and collected, as we are probably about 1.9, nearly 2 seconds up now on our personal best laps. We go in towards the last corner now, taking that much smoother than last time. You can see now opening up the DRS towards the start finish line. It's going to be a 133.7, something around about that time. However, it is P4 on the grid though, so not a bad position to start in whatsoever. However, it was a good 7/10 shy of Ferrari. Look at that. Ferrari, Daniel Ricciardo on pole position, ahead of Max Verstappen by 2/10, and then a 7/10 of a second gap to myself and Lewis Hamilton. Fernando Alonso, only a 10th off of my time actually, so Red Bull showing that they've got some good pace around here, but me and Hamilton just about have the edge in qualifying. And you can see there the grid as itself as we move on then towards the race for the Chinese Grand Prix. See Vettel and P9. The Jaguars actually with a great qualifying result themselves. But as you can see, and having a look at the race, it's going to be a two-stop race. We're going to be starting on a set of super soft tyres, moving to another set of super soft tyres, and then to a set of the soft tyres for the end of the race. And I was happy with that strategy overall. I wanted to go nice and aggressive in this Grand Prix and see where we can get up. But as you can see then, we're on the grid. We've got 5 red lights here for this Chinese Grand Prix, and it's lights out. And away we go here to start the Chinese Grand Prix. It's actually been a phenomenal start from us straight away. We're getting past Lewis Hamilton, and next up, Max Verstappen now, and already up into second place now, in towards the first corner. We're going to have a little look, see how close we can get to the back of Daniel Ricciardo, but we can't get close enough. But that is a great start there. Already getting in front of my teammate, already splitting the Ferraris early on in this Chinese Grand Prix. That's what we need to be doing, and crucially, Verstappen is the man who is closest to me in the championship, so getting in front of him is crucial. And you can see that we're getting quite close there to Daniel Ricciardo on the back of him now as we come through towards this middle sector onto lap 2 of the Grand Prix now. Ricciardo has gone off into the distance now. He's 1.6 seconds clear, and he's cleared the DRS zone from myself. Max Verstappen, he's only a 10th back. He is right on my gearbox now, and he's going to be looking to try and get back past me after he lost out in the lead and chase after Daniel Ricciardo in the Ferrari. And as you can see now on the back straight here, you can see that Lewis Hamilton's actually lost a place to Fernando Alonso and all this, and Verstappen now right up in the slipstream here. He's going to go towards the inside line for this hairpin corner. This is going to be quite a tricky move for Verstappen. He sticks closer to the inside line, doesn't quite come push back himself into the racing line, but he goes to it down the inside. But we defend nice and calmly around the outside, and we stay in front of Verstappen for the time being. Ricciardo though is now starting to pull away in this Grand Prix as we get a warning there for corner cutting on the final corner there. And Verstappen now with another great run in towards turn 1 now. Will he go to the inside? Will he go for the outside? He tries to have a little look for the outside, but it doesn't work for him as Hamilton now under pressure from Hartley in the in the Jaguar there. So Hartley putting on some pressure, and he's forced Hamilton wide onto the grass. Hamilton loses time there, and he's lost out, and now all of a sudden you can see that he's under huge pressure. Onto lap 3 of the Grand Prix now, and Verstappen has lost some time actually. He's lost out to myself, and he's fallen back into the clutches of Fernando Alonso here in this Grand Prix. And Fernando is going to have DRS here in the Red Bull car, and he's going to go for it actually on Verstappen towards the outside line for this hairpin. A bit of an audacious attempt. Verstappen covers the inside line. Round the outside goes Fernando Alonso. Will he make this one stick? He's going to barge his way through. Fernando not yielding. Verstappen trying to hold him off. But in towards the final corner now, Fernando Alonso actually goes ahead and takes third place away from Verstappen. So this is quite critical for the Drivers' Championship. Alonso doesn't have DRS though. And Hartley now comes blasting through past all of them here. So Hartley now having a little look. And I think he's just about crept up into third place. He has done. Brendan Hartley with a great double overtake there, taking advantage of Verstappen and Alonso. Now Fernando having to fight harder against Verstappen because Max obviously had DRS on the pit straight, but he's got him actually. So Fernando Alonso has passed him. Verstappen's lost 2 places now, and I wonder if Verstappen has got some form of car problems. And yeah, onto a lap, and further onto the 4th lap now. There I go. There's Brendan Hartley, there's Fernando Alonso, and there's Carlos Sainz mugging off Verstappen down the inside there, just before the banking corner. So Verstappen definitely has some form of a car problem. Then here comes Lewis Hamilton now in the Mercedes, my teammate now. Let's see if he can try and make some moves. He's lost a lot of places at the start of this Grand Prix. He needs to start gaining them back now. And as you can see, Verstappen now with DRS, it's going to make it harder for Hamilton as he gets boxed in a little bit slightly there. But Verstappen now fully boxes himself in, and Hamilton will go around the outside here in towards this hairpin corner. And again, just like Fernando Alonso, he's going to get the traction, get the power, and at this time, crucially for Hamilton, as they go in towards the last corner, he can shove Verstappen wide, but Hamilton will get DRS from Sainz. So as you can see here, it's not going to be as tough for Hamilton to get past. That Ferrari's still going to be quick in a straight line, as we've got one of the Audis there in the background. That's Vettel trying to have a little look as well, and one of the Williams Porsche cars there. I think that's Sergio Perez trying to also get on the act. Verstappen loses out, gets out of shape. Contact between Hamilton and Verstappen. Great action between these two drivers, giving it everything they've got, and you can see the field getting spread out slightly, but Hamilton muscles his way through after multiple corners. And again, look at this, Vettel now going towards the outside on Verstappen here, towards the banking corner, and yeah, just mugging him off over. So Verstappen definitely has got car problems in this Grand Prix, and this is not going to help him at all. Now, I do remember, as soon as I battled Verstappen in towards turn 1 and 2, and he was all over the back of me, they did say that someone had a car problem. I don't know who it was, but obviously Verstappen is now, as you can clearly see here, is falling down the order very quickly, so I would not be surprised. And it is Verstappen, pretty much, you can see. She's getting mugged off left, right, and centre. Vettel now is under pressure from Sergio Perez, who's piling on a little bit of pressure there. You can see that Perez got the run on Verstappen, got past him, actually, you can see there. And also, the other Jaguar car of Pierre Gasly has also got past Verstappen. So, yeah, Max just falling down the order, and you can see there Brendan Hartley moving through as we scroll through all of the drivers and see what's going on here. There's a good fight, actually, down the back of the grid here. We've got Van Dorn, Lando Norris all up in this. There's Norris ahead of Van Dorn. Rosberg trying to get involved. I think Rosberg was just in front of Van Dorn earlier. Now he's trying to come back at Van Dorn in towards turn 2, on board with Ocon here, and Rosberg is going to barge his way past Stoffel Van Dorn, and Stoffel will have to wait a little bit longer. It's actually a very long queue here because Vettel is just up the road, and of course we knew how close he was to all of that. But on to lap 6 of the Grand Prix now. We're coming into the pits to try and sort out some form of an undercut. Funnily enough, I had about a 3-4 second gap over Brendan Hartley, and fair play to Hartley in the Jaguar. He closed that down to DRS range. I was struggling in this Grand Prix. I'm not gonna lie, being in second place felt like a little bit of a mini blessing for myself, because obviously, you know, I got a good start, which was fine, but once again, just as the practice pointers stated out, it's not easy around this circuit, and I was definitely struggling for just overall grip. And as you saw there, Hartley closed that gap and was in DRS range of me, and before long, if I stayed out any longer, Hartley would have actually had an opportunity to nick second place off of me. So I decided to cover everything off and go for the 2-stop strategy. Now, as you can see coming out of the pits, getting on the grass slightly doesn't really help there, but we're down in P12, we're actually in last place. Wow, okay. We're in last at the moment then, so that's not very nice, but unfortunately that Antonio Giovinazzi is out of the Grand Prix, and he's just by there, and we've now got a virtual safety car that's come out for that, which is a little bit of a pain actually, because I've just come out on some fresh tyres, and I kind of want to get utilising them, and of course, if the VSC comes out, it just neutralises the race and stops me from gaining crucial time. And as you can see now, onto lap 8 of the Grand Prix, we've caught up to the back of Robin Kubica, and that's Brendan Hartley, I think, behind me. So I've definitely pulled away from Hartley in this race, but you can see that Jaguar have got some exceptional race pace here today. And as you can see, we get past Kubica, and now we can carry on our way. Next up the road is Nico Hülkenberg. He's on the super soft tyres, so he's pretty much either just pitted for those, or he can't have just pitted for those, otherwise he would have been in front of me. So he's carrying on in this race, going long on his first stint. Kubica on the soft tyres, doing something different to anybody else out there. And yeah, he's going for the 1-stop then. Kubica, Hülkenberg probably committing to the 2-stop. You can get away with the 1-stop round 2 as we set the fastest middle sector of anybody so far. So we've got some good pace on these fresh set of super soft tyres, but I'm pretty sure when the likes of Ricciardo, even Alonso and Sainz come in, they'll probably set some faster laps. Myself, you can see taking a wide line through the banking corner. As you can see, it actually pays off quite nicely. We're in the slipstream now of Nico Hülkenberg, and that Renault car has just been underperforming all season, of course. And yeah, we just breezed past him, and that is also Hartley there in the background trying to find a way past Robert Kubica. He's going to go for the outside line in towards the hairpin, and I'm pretty sure he would have secured that move quite easily because the Renault car is just not competitive. And on to lap 9 of the Grand Prix now. We've closed up to the back of Charles Leclerc in the BMW Sauber, and Nico Rosberg now is out of the Chinese Grand Prix. So he was actually doing quite well in this race. That's a little bit of a shame for Nico Rosberg. But as you can see, in towards this corner now, we're going to lunge it down the inside here. Nice and calm, very collected dive bomb. Pretty much not even an attempt of a dive bomb. That was just Charles Leclerc not really fighting it. He knows where his battles are. and I just goes flying on through. Up into 8th place now as more drivers start to make their pit stops, and on to lap 10. We're now up into P7 in this Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas there in the other BMW Sauber car is now pressing along quite nicely. And as you can see, this is pretty much going to be a slam dunk. Well, it's going to be the exact same move. We're just going to brake a little bit later. And Valtteri Bottas go down the inside here. Didn't put up a fight for that one, really. And we can carry on our way now and get past the two Force Indies. We've got Pascal Wehrlein and Esteban Ocon both scrapping away out front. So this is going to be quite interesting to see where they end up and how they can carry on. We've got one of the McLarens there as well. I don't know if that's Stoffel Van Dorn or if it's Lando Norris. It's probably Lando Norris because Norris is one of those drivers in this series that likes to go long on his first stints. He always likes to do it and then try and build up the gap that he can while everyone else is fighting each other out of the pits. Come into the pits and then get clean air and grab some points. But once again, taking that slightly wider line through the banking corner. And as you can see, we caught up to the back of Pascal Wehrlein. And this is going to be a nice, easy DRS move here on the Force India driver. Who knows where Wehrlein's going to be next season, of course, with Force India getting taken over at the end of the year. And of course, with my seat at Mercedes-Benz up for grabs. And as you can see, we go down the inside down Pascal. Nice move there. And now we've got Esteban Ocon to think about in the Force India, but I don't believe he's going to be much of a problem for us. And as you can see, we try and get the DRS. We go very wayward there in the final corner. You can just see it there. The back end really stepped out on me as I got onto the curb there, and that's unfortunately compromised my run heavily in towards the first corner, which is annoying, but I can carry so much more speed in towards turn 1, brake that much later, that when Ocon goes wide, I can just sneak my car in like that. It's a classic move that you can do on F1 2017. If you're trying to get an overtake done, literally just keep pushing your way through in towards turn 1. If you're close to them, just hug the inside line, keep the throttle going, be gentle on it, and eventually the AIs, they will just fluster out into no man's land. It's quite an interesting fact. But on to lap 16 of the Grand Prix, we're actually coming in for our scheduled second pit stop of the Grand Prix as we run wide, and the virtual safety car has also come out in the process. I'm not sure why, but it has. But we've now got a problem. As we enter into the pits for our second pit stop, you can see that coming in front of us now, Sainz goes past, Hamilton goes past, and Alonso goes past. Not too much of a problem. Hamilton's obviously going to go into the pits anyway because he's on a set of super soft tyres. But both of the Red Bulls have pitted for the medium compound tyres. They did go longer in their first stints, in fairness to them, and they pitted for mediums. This means that once again, Red Bull, as stated in the practice pointers, had the better tyre wear, and they're now on mediums going to the end of the race. And I've got a long way to go if I'm looking to try and catch those Red Bull cars, and they are not slow cars at all. And on to lap 28 of the Grand Prix, I actually couldn't even do it. Daniel Ricciardo won the Chinese Grand Prix. He absolutely battered the competition today. There was no chance anyone else was getting anywhere near him today. But for Red Bull Racing, though, it is their best performance, I think, of the season so far. Carlos Sainz is going to finish in second place. Alonso is going to finish in third. And after a promising start from fourth to second and fighting our way through the field a little bit, we're going to come home in P4 today. Not a sensational drive from us by any means. Of course, the Mercedes car struggled today, but at the end of the day, Verstappen, I don't know where he ended up. Let's have a look then at the orders. I don't even think Verstappen didn't even score points today. So overall, that's a really solid drive for us. Verstappen didn't score points. Fair play to there he is. He actually finished a lap down. Wow, okay. But yeah, let's move into the Drivers and Constructors Championship and see how everything panned out. Alright, so let's have a look at the Drivers and Constructors Championship then and see how things panned out. So, obviously in that Grand Prix, I didn't really quite explain it fully, but Red Bull did a fantastic job on their tyre and went for the medium tyres. And the one stop seemed to be the route forward. And in hindsight, two stop was the wrong choice. Should have gone for the one stop, got track position over the other cars and just defended come the end of the race, and that would have been fun for battles. But hey ho, I stuck to the two stop strategy. Didn't pay off. That happens in Formula 1. But we now are on 207 points in this championship, and we are miles clear now of Daniel Ricciardo, who's actually now become the closest competitor to myself. Max Verstappen, over the past few races, has really dropped off the pace. Of course, in the fifth round, he won the Grand Prix. Round 6, he cut second, and also in round 7. But then these previous 4 rounds, he's finished in 5th, 6th, 5th, and DNF'd. So, didn't score points. I can confirm that in this race, Verstappen did have car problems, which is why he fell down the order. Also, he did actually get a puncture, which left him that lap down, because I actually lapped him. I forgot to put it in the video. Lewis Hamilton is in 4th on 116 points. Both the Red Bull cars now on 94 and 80 points, ahead of Vettel now. And then Norris stays in front of Hartley, who's closed him down. Verline, Perez, Van Dorn, Gasly, Ocon, Leclerc, Rosberg, Bottas, Kubica, Hulkenberg, Giovinazzi. All don't move places, but Verline and Van Dorn Gasly pick up points in this round. In the Constructors' Championship, then Ferrari lead the way with 339 points in this championship, and they are 40 points clear of Mercedes-Benz, who are on 299 points in this championship. Aston Martin, Red Bull are on 174 points, probably their best scoring, points finishes between themselves throughout the entirety of this season. In fact, I'm going to go and have a check on that, and it's their best point score this season. Their previous best was 25 points between the pair of them in the Constructors. This time they got 33 points today, and the reason that I know that is because I've got my spreadsheet open. And then we've got Audi are on 80 points. They have re-overtaken McLaren, but that battle is still well and truly on, and another solid points finish for any one of those two could determine who finishes 4th in the championship. Jaguar, 65 points. They've closed up now to Audi and McLaren after their strong points finish today. And then Williams, Porsche, pretty much settling for where they are with 23 points. And same with BMW, Sauber and Renault. Still can't get a point on the boards. But guys, that's going to be it for the 11th round of the F1 journey. If you guys have enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like. If you're new around here as well, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you enjoy the content you do see, then obviously that would be a reason if you'd like to come ahead and subscribe to this channel. But until then, guys, I will see you for the 12th round of the F1 journey, which is going to be, if my picture loads up, it is going to be at the Mexican Grand Prix. So that's going to be an interesting one. And until then, guys, take care all. Peace.